Hello and welcome to Survive the Unexpected with your host Frank Pacino, and I am joined today with James Hansen. Amanda needed a little bit of a mental break, so it's just gonna be me and him kicking it today, talking about Survivor 43, Episode 9, the double final 10, split into two tribes of five, or groups of five, whatever they called it. Um, I really think this was a much improved episode and a much needed episode to hopefully kickstart this season into full gear. But until we get uh, before we get further along into the episode, please give us a like, subscribe, follow us on all our podcast locations, Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. We're also on Twitter. Join the Facebook group. Mean a lot to us. But what you think of this episode?
So I was thought the season was starting to get a little stale, and I mean I knew we had the double with two groups of five go into tribal, and I thought it was a much better episode. We saw a little bit more strategy, a lot more than we had seen a lot of the season, and both separate tribals kind of left it up in the air as to who was actually going to go home, and we had some people in the middle on each side making basically calling the shots and deciding who they wanted to leave. But two people that were part of that majority group that's kind of been in control since the merge went home. So I think now with 8 people left, we're going to see some more cracks going forward. So I think this episode could give this season some of that momentum that we really need heading towards the finish line.
I agree. I feel like we had one really good tribal and one that was kind of like eh. And the tribal that was centered around for most of the episode was the tribe of it was Owen, James, Carla, Sammy, and Noel. The episode starts with Owen being pissed about the vote, even though he voted correctly. He goes and pulls Owen and Sammy and Gabler aside and talk about it. He's pissed at James, and James comes up to him and like, "Hey, you want to talk?" He's like, "No, I want to talk to you, bro. Yeah, you lying to me." And they just had this big spiel, and James is like, "Whatever, bro. Do you da da da." This whole episode, majority of it was centered around James and Owen. We got some very heated arguments between the two. First time we've seen arguments like this in a few seasons. Would you agree? Like, when's the last time you've seen like a big blow up between two people?
uh I think in 41 and 42 we never really had it. If I can really think deeply, if it was pretty minor. I mean, 40 we had that little rivalry with Jeremy and Ben.
But yeah, that wasn't like a real argument. These
But
guys were really arguing.
yeah, I mean, I think it's clear there's some bad blood there, and that James keeps trying to string Owen along, and Owen knows he's smarter than that and is like just not buying his shit. And then, I mean, after that, he doesn't want to talk to the guy because he just fed him so much bullshit before. And I mean, yeah, we haven't seen it really as much in a while though.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time to like really see like two people like not just game angry. Like Owen was almost personally angry at James about the whole thing. James was just over it in general. But it's just so what's we really got like a quick snippet of like what happened the night before. Then we go into the challenge, and basically they draw rocks, for two groups of five, and the winning group, whoever goes longer gets peanut butter and jelly, which would be fire. Some peanut butter would be
And they get to
fire
go
out
to
there,
tribal second.
and they go to tribal second. Of course, the least interesting tribal goes second, but um, we do get individual immunities from two sides. Carla wins from the blue side, and Cody wins the red side. I was very surprised to see Carla win this immunity.
I
Um,
was too, but I think she obviously she's a good social player, she's a good strategic player, but I think she's been underrated in the challenges. Like obviously there's some she probably going to struggle in, but for the most part she's held her own in challenges and proved she can win like some sort of endurance challenge is pretty impressive. So
I'll give you that. She has not like actively like, oh man, she's really holding them up in any
yeah,
challenge. She did struggle getting up that wall that earned the merge, but that was a tough wall to get up. She wasn't the
yeah.
only one to struggle to get up that wall. But overall, she has held her own. But going into that, you'd be like, oh man, we're gonna see, I don't know, one of these guys win it, or even like you. I thought Sammy was gonna win this one or Owen going into it, and it didn't end up happening that way. Carla wins. Cody and Ryan go at it for a while on the red side. Um, Cody ends up winning it. So they have to go. The blue side has to go to the old Vessi camp, right? Was it the blue side or the red side? I can't remember which one.
I think it was the blue side. Yeah.
Okay, so they go to the old Vessi camp, and we literally center around mainly that camp for most of the thing. And first thing we get, Owen's like, I'm gonna go fill up some water. And no one follows him, but then James follows him. And instead of having a conversation, Owen's like, what are you thinking about tonight? James is like, it is what it is. How do you think he handled that conversation, that altercation?
I mean, not well. I mean, at least if you're gonna bullshit someone, do a better job than that. I mean, this is just it was just kind of awkward at this point.
And like on a smaller tribe, all it takes is two people be like, you know what, we want to save Owen, which happens. And instead of like trying to make sure everyone's cool with him, he just goes into it thinking like, oh, I got this, and pretty much tells Owen to his face, I'm pretty much voting for you tonight. And it was just like, Owen, it pissed Owen off again, and then they argue in front of the whole camp. And this is my one of my favorite parts of the whole episode. They're arguing, and then Noelle's eating papaya, and she goes, "Hey," while they're arguing, yelling at each other, she's like, "Hey, and you guys want papaya?"
Hey, you guys want papaya? Yeah. It's like the anybody want cake
Yeah,
from
like
Big
from
Brother.
yeah, yeah. That made me laugh. I I watched it twice, and the first time I watched it, I laughed, but then I watched it again, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe she said that." And who wants papaya? Like, why they're arguing, and Owen goes, "No thanks." Um, but yeah, they but Noel and Sammy are like telling Carly, "Yeah, we'll do Owen, whatever." And as soon as they walk away, Noel's like, "Look, why don't you, Sammy, and Owen, let's vote James out." Noel was like, "I want to get James out, and I'm gonna use my steal vote to steal Owen's vote, and tell James, hey, don't worry, I'm stealing his vote so he doesn't play shot in the dark because you can't play shot in the dark without your vote." And she's like, I'm gonna use that extra vote to vote James out. How do you feel about the way she used her steal a vote?
So I thought at first the thinking was smart. If like that's how she was gonna have to pull it off, that yes, it's worth the risk. But everyone ended up voting for James. So and he didn't play the shot in the dark. He was still blindsided. So I feel like she kind of uh she kind of wasted it, I feel like.
I think she didn't realize Sammy was gonna tell Carlo about it.
Yeah, and I don't do you understand that either? Is that just him trying to get in Carla's good graces? Because that could have seriously backfired.
Oh yeah. So
And
look,
what have I been saying about Sammy all season?
he's a
He has got a
snake.
big mouth.
He he look. Nobody should trust Sammy,
No.
not at all. He's cutting people left and right, and honestly, I thought it was kind of a ballsy move, but I liked it. Like because like he does it in a way without being aggressive to Carla, and he does it in a way where like he presents it as this is our move and not my move. This is our move to make way for us to make further. James is somebody seen as running us, running the show. Let's separate from him now, and we can move forward, and nobody will see it coming, type thing. And it was very, it was like when he first did it, I was like, "That's a terrible play, terrible move, Sammy. What are you doing?" But when he kept talking to Carla, and you could just see her mind turning, and her being like more open to it throughout the conversations, I was very impressed the way Sammy handled that situation because it could have easily blown up in his face and could have sent him home.
And I mean, what he did too there, uh, it's always a. I'm still saying it was risky, but the way he was able to maneuver it and actually get her to do it, uh, it's always good to make someone else make a move that's not in their best interest, but you convince them it's in their best interest. And
Correct.
that's basically what he did with Carla.
Right. Because James is going to go home in the next round or two, probably.
Yeah.
Um, and then at that point, she probably would have been seen as a target. Taking James out there could hurt her chances of getting further. Now we won't know until we see the game move forward. But it was very impressive that Sammy didn't come across too aggressive because he is a bigger guy out there, and it's easy for we've seen in the past where men have talked to women and it felt aggressive. Even last season when Jonathan was really probably wasn't trying to, but he's just so big and so like he's so much bigger than the women, which Sammy is bigger than Carla. Um, it comes across forceful and trying to like tell her what to do instead of having a conversation. He was able to present it in a way as let's do this together type thing instead of being like this is what we're doing because this is what I said we're doing.
Yeah, he approached it the right way. It's just I mean, maybe behind the scenes we see that they have a deeper level of trust than we're actually shown to believe. But I would just worried about Sammy doing that for the fact that Carla goes and tells James, who has the knowledge is power, or even Noel and Owen find out that uh, Sammy's informing Carla of a plan that was not supposed to include her, and it backfires on him. I mean, I do think it was risky, but like you said, the way he went about talking to her, he did a pretty good job of it, I would
Yeah.
say.
It's one of those things that if he goes about and wins the game, this will be one of the highlights of his winning game was convincing Carla to vote James out. That definitely benefited him because Carla is now closer to Sammy because they did that together and it takes out a big threat in the game. And Carla is somebody who gets a lot of information. So Sammy being aligned with her is really good for his game. He's getting a lot of information from her. So it's one of those things that if it works, great. If it doesn't, it could cost you your game, and it worked for him. So um at the other beach, the Ryan vote out, it was it was pretty for like we you didn't think it was gonna be Cassie, did you at all?
For a little, I thought it might have been. I was. It was obviously either going to be one of the two of them, but I was kind of like maybe at a 70-30 could be Ryan versus Cassidy. I did have that little glimmer of doubt that it would actually be Ryan, mainly because I was rooting so hard for it to be Ryan. I was like, a lot of things I like this season haven't gone my way. So maybe he's about to survive another round and he'll be here all the way till the end. But uh, I mean, I don't know. I think either way, whatever Cody and Jesse were gonna do is what Gabler was gonna do. So uh, they basically decided which one of the two of them they wanted to send home, and I don't think it mattered too much to them. Two Cocos going out tonight in out of that 7-person bigger alliance. I think that just benefits Cody and Jesse even more. So I
Yeah,
think it didn't matter which move they made, but I think they made a good move. They
see,
made the move I would have done probably because they kept Cassidy, someone who actually might be thankful that they saved her ass, and she's actually someone that's going to spitball some strategy and stuff. And whereas Ryan is kind of just dead weight when it comes to making decisions in an alliance. He's there for other reasons, and if you let him get a little bit farther, he was probably going to make it to the end of this game as it goes. So, uh, I mean, yeah, I don't think I think it was a good decision for them, but I think either way, they would have been fine.
yeah. So I personally think it could be a mistake letting Cassidy get around because who are you more afraid of making a move against you, Ryan or Cassidy?
I mean Cassidy, but I think that she might be with them for a couple more rounds, though.
Yeah, but me personally, I would have taken, especially since James is gone, you could have really weakened Carla and have her take away Cassidy and possibly taken Gabler and Ryan with you instead of just taking Gabler. Um, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I honestly think I was worried. I honestly thought Cassie was gonna go home when she had the background information on her.
Yes, I forgot to say that when I said the 70-30 thing. Yeah, that scared me too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Cassie's going home. She's getting all this uh background information, but she did have a winner's quote this episode. Whoever goes against me, I eventually get my revenge on them and send them home. I believe that's what she said.
Yeah,
And
she's grown on me a little bit as a player. I think she had didn't get the best edit early, but I think she's improved
we could see her make
recently.
a Marianne or slash Erica run.
Again, I mean, maybe that's just what they're giving us for the winners nowadays, based on the edit.
Maybe. I honestly think the only person who can't win up to this point is Gabler.
Yeah,
I just don't have confidence. Honestly, I think Owen has a really tough time winning too.
he's got the second hardest time. I think
Yeah.
everyone else can make a pretty good argument,
I think the six people, I think Noelle is at the bottom of that six,
but
but
she
she has a case with that move that she just pulled off. Even though Sammy did kind of undermine it a little bit, um, she still has a case. I
and if
just
she
don't.
can get to the end after being on the bottom
Mhm.
for like most of the beginning of the post merge, like that would be pretty impressive.
And you can't rule out an immunity run, which will also help anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe get a vote or two. Like definitely get a Ryan vote. Like if Owen went on this crazy immunity run, that's something Ryan would love. So you give him a vote.
So
Gabler
that's
might love it.
her
Give
is
him a vote.
6,
Yeah.
and then that would leave the top 5 with Jesse, Cody, Sammy, Carla,
And
and
Cassidy.
Cassidy.
Yeah. And I think all five of those, I think those five are the real contenders. I think Noel's right underneath that. And I think Cassie is barely in that section. Like you could probably put her with Noel as well. Um,
Yeah, I agree with she's a little bit ahead of Noelle though.
yeah, just a little bit ahead of Noel, but not quite with them either. I feel like she's in her own tier, while Noel's in her own tier, and then you have Gabler and Owen.
Yeah, and
So
then I would still put Sammy a 4 to a Jesse, Cody, and Carla top 3, I would say.
see, I think I might have Sammy ahead of Cody at this point.
Okay.
I think it'd be like I think Jesse's number one, Carla's number 2, and then Sammy's number 3, and then I have Cody number 4. The reason why I have Cody number 4 is that the way we've seen him be since the merge, it's come across as more as Jesse is the leader of the two than more of a partnership, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's my worry about Cody. Now, the show can show us whatever they want, but I'm just trying to read into the game that I see, and the way I see it is that they're presenting Jesse as the brains of the operations. No offense to Cody, I like him. I think he's good, but I feel like he's gonna have a tougher time if he sits next to Jesse, because I feel like Jesse's gonna be able to explain his game very well, where Cody's just gonna be like fun, live it up. Maybe he might have a tough time presenting his case at Final Tribal Council.
And do you think he has the strategic prowess to cut Jesse?
I don't see him
I
cutting
I don't
Jesse.
know either.
If he does, that'd be awesome, and it'd be great move by him, because if Cody wants to stand out, I don't think he can go to the Final Tribal with Jesse.
No.
So,
And I think that it doesn't even make sense for Jesse to cut Cody either, because he knows that he's going to beat him.
right. And is it weird that Cody still hasn't asked for his idol back?
No, but I mean, there's a chance he got it back and they just haven't showed us.
True.
And like maybe when it comes time to think about using it, if he has it, they'll do a little flashback thing and be like, yeah, Jesse gave me the idol back right after that tribal council, or something along those lines.
Very possible. You're right. We can only go off of what we've been shown and the exit interviews the best we can. I guess James was really working on Sammy. Um, James and Carla were really working on Sammy, where James gave Sammy the knowledge is power the first night he got it, and Sammy gave it back to him.
Yeah. So that was confirmed.
Yeah, he had an interview with RHAP. I listened to it today.
I didn't listen to his or Ryan's yet. Did Ryan have one too?
Yeah, I mean, not much was said. He talked about fishing a lot. He talked about how he had no idea his name was out there all the time. He did say that he did want to separate from Coco.
Did or didn't?
He did.
Yeah.
He also said that he felt like he connected with Gabler and Noel a lot, but with him being separated from Noel, that didn't help him. So, but that's about what Cody said. James said a lot. He was just spewing from the mouth his interview.
Did he? I might have saw this somewhere. Did he address the reason why his voice is all?
So I think he's seen. He posted
Raspy?
something on Twitter. He goes, "My voice has always sounded like this," or something like that. I think I've seen it on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, "It's been like this for my whole life," or something like that.
Yeah, because I saw a lot of people asking about that, or like just curious about it.
It just makes me think of the 90 voice changer. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's what his voice reminds me of. I mean, but like I said, I think James would be a happy return.
Yeah.
He was somebody who played hard, and I really appreciate that.
I liked him a little more at the beginning than towards the end. I feel like he kind of got his comeuppance the way
he got a little too cocky.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were in trouble going for something like the knowledge is power is cursed. It has not worked out once for any of the people who try to use it or even hold it.
Yeah.
At this point, it's like, do you want the knowledge of power? No, thank you. It's cursed. Give it to Ghost Island.
I don't know if they'll use it again, because Jeff seems to act some things that just don't work out a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I would be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it in 44, but if we see it any bit past that, I think I'd be a little surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But we get Orion vote out. He did have a funny line at Tribal. Um, I got was he said 30 pounds of clams or something like that in my bag.
Yeah.
I'm taking it with me if you guys vote me out. That was funny. I did like what Cody did. This is a point on Cody. We didn't see if Jesse had this conversation, but it does make me feel like Cody's still playing, but like he doesn't get a lot of the edit where he talked to Gabler and said, "Hey, you, me, and Jesse, we're gonna ride this thing out." And Gabler agrees, which is shocking. I thought Gabler for sure was just gonna like, get offer stuff and then like just be like, "Nope, I don't trust you." He definitely has improved as a player throughout the season. I just don't think he has a chance to win the game.
No, neither do I. And I think that uh like Cody and Jesse basically just they see Gabler as a wild card and they're like, well, if we can pull him in as a number at this point in the game, like why not? So
Right.
I
Eh,
think that's where they're thinking, especially with this small tribal. Like, listen, if we're gonna bring you in, like there's no way your name is gonna be out there. It's gonna be one of these two people, and then you kind of make him feel included, like who you're deciding to get rid of, even if he really wasn't, and
Right.
he might go with you for the next few rounds, and that's really all you need at this point. So
Right, right. Um, so that was good. That was a good uptake by Cody and even Gabler. But then I really hope that the game keeps going full steam ahead from this point out. It's harder to say who would be a boring vote at this point. Owen,
yeah,
even I think a Gabler vote out would just be entertaining because it'd be such a mess
yeah, and I don't think he's getting voted out.
anytime soon.
If he does, it's gonna be like final five. Like I think
Yeah,
the next three votes, it'll either be Owen or it'll be a bigger threat that
I
gets.
feel I feel like there's a chance that we see a couple threats go in a row after this episode.
I could see I could see Sammy going one of the next couple weeks. I feel.
So what I think could happen is it almost feels like Jesse's side is going to be gearing up against Carla's side, and I feel like it's going to be Sammy, Carla, and Cassidy versus Jesse, Cody, and Gabler, with Noel and Owen in the middle.
Yeah, I could see it.
Because
Yeah,
Cassidy and
unless
Carla are
they.
close.
The only thing I could see it not going that way is if they decided to just make it boring and just pick off Noel and Owen.
Right.
But I think it's more likely what you're saying, where they're Owen and Noel are going to be used as swing votes.
Mm. And I think you're right. Sammy could be in trouble this next episode because they find out that he told Carla they could go to Jesse and Cody and Gabler and say, "Hey, let's vote out Sammy. You can't trust him. We all can't trust him. Let's get him out of here."
Yeah, I've been saying all game too. I think that Sammy's mouth is going to get him in trouble, and
But this is a week where he might be in trouble, but then he'll pull out some clutch immunity win.
yeah, I mean, I could see it too. I just think, I think that so if it's those three versus those three, I think Sammy would be targeted from that side, and then from Cody, Jesse, Gabler's side.
I think Cody would. They know Cody has the idol, so maybe Jesse.
Yeah, and then maybe Jesse plays. I don't know. We got to see an. There's got to be an idol play soon too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has there not been an idol played all season?
All season, not at all.
Not one.
No, even Gabler, the one that expired, he didn't even play his.
Yeah, we haven't seen. So we went from the, I guess, early all throughout the 30s of Survivor to just
Constantly idols playing.
constantly idols to 41 to 43. Like the idols haven't factored in as much.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We got to see some because we're at final 8. There's still 3 idols in the game. Let's just say all 3 idols stay in the game, and it goes to final 6 because that's the last time we use them is final 6, right?
Yeah.
So final 6, there's 3 people automatically immune right there, and then someone wins immunity. Like you could literally be like voted out because there's no other option.
Yeah, you could get Sareed out.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
So that would suck.
Except in that season, it wasn't because no one just played anything, or there was just 5,000 advantages, and
right. So, but yeah, I think it's gearing up to be a fun ending. Hopefully, I feel like I don't know like how I quite feel about this. Uh, quite feel about this season as a whole. I think I don't hate it, but I don't really love it either.
yeah, I think it's a right now for me a below average season, but I like the cast enough where like as people where I feel it's not bottom 10 or anything. I think it's just been lacking gameplay, but I think a lot can happen still. So
Right.
we have to wait till it's over to fairly judge it.
Correct. And let's be fair. Let's be real. 41 started out really, really hot on fire, and then kind of tore like kind of like pity patter towards the end a little bit. 42 kind of started a little slower, but then sped up at the end.
Yeah,
I
I
think
agree.
that's a better recipe for a better season. Is that the first few episodes would kind of be slower, but then you have a killer end game, and that helps a lot.
Yeah, one like let me think of a season. There's a few of them. Like I think there's a couple that come to my mind right away. Uh Survivor San Juan del Sur 29.
Mm-hmm.
I think the pre-merge is terrible. Post-merge is very good.
Very good.
Uh Survivor Token Teens. Pre-merge is terrible. Post-merge is very good.
Yeah.
So it has happened before.
Right.
But my main concern was those seasons also we had a couple great votes like as soon as they merged. This one took a double with 2 5-person tribals to have I wouldn't even say great votes either. They were more entertaining, but we still haven't had that like quintessential like just great tribal council this season
I
where
feel like the Dwight vote off was good, not great.
it was good, yeah.
Um, the Ellie one was kind of the Janine one was eh. So far we've got one really good round, and that was this round. Okay round with the Dwight round, and then 2 kind of rounds.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We like you said, there's still a lot to play. There's 8 people left in the game. 3 idols left in the game. So anything can happen. Hopefully we see some killer plays, some blind sides, and a fun run. I don't think this definitely is not going to beat 12. I don't think, or not 12, 42. I don't know where I got 12 from, but I think it has a chance to be above average.
Yeah, that's the ceiling, but
Mhm. That's the ceiling.
it's potentially that, yeah. But I think even if we get a good winner, which I think we're likely to get one,
Hmm.
that it could still be a bad not like I'm not saying this isn't going to be one of the worst seasons, but there are very bad seasons with good winners, so that doesn't matter to me as much. I just hope the next like rounds 8 to 6 we get a couple really entertaining boots and
Yeah,
some
I feel
like good idle plays, some good strategic play. Like
I feel like if Owen wins the season, it'll be a little deflating. If Gabler wins the season, it'll be a little deflating. I
Gabler's
really,
not winning this season.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying, if he did somehow, it'd be a little deflating. But I feel like if a Jesse wins, or even the Sammy, Carla, if one of those three win, I'll be really happy with the winner. I don't think Cody would be a bad winner. I just don't think he'd be a great winner. But I think as a Sammy or a Carla or Jesse, you can put them as a really good to great winner.
Yeah, and I think whoever does win out of that group too, we're obviously with the people dwindling down, we're going to see a better edit going forward from whoever's going to end up winning the game, and we're going to see some more moves made too. So,
Right.
I mean, the book is still being written, so
Right. It's hard. We're incomplete right now. Hopefully it gets better, but ending could save a season for sure. It also could hurt a season.
Edge of Extinction.
As an extinction.
Well, actually, I'll go back on that. The winner, I hated the fact that he won, but I thought the ending of that season, especially the finale episode, was entertaining. Like a lot was happening, at least.
It just irks me that the man played for like 12 days
Yeah,
and won the game.
of course.
And it'd be the equivalent to someone playing like 4 or 5 days in a game like in 26 days.
God.
So, but yeah, I mean that's about covers it all. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I think you enjoyed it as well. Um, I really hope we get a thrilling ending. We got probably the biggest vote out so far was with James
Yeah,
of the season.
and
I
he
feel-
was blindsided too.
yeah, and it was a good blindside. He didn't see it coming. He had no idea.
Yeah,
He was very upset, and he did say, "I'll take his respect." And Noel did say, "Yep, of course. That's all it was for. Respect." Also might help her in case if she gets to the end, but we'll see. But and next time we'll talk to you guys later. Do you have anything else to add?
not really. I think that, like I said, the book's still being written, and we're gonna see how this thing plays out because it could. The ceiling's high enough for it to be a good season. Still, that's all I'll
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. But if you guys can give us a like, follow all our podcast locations for our socials, and mean a lot to us. Until next time,
Please
we'll talk
do.
to you guys later. Bye.